Lay on your back and feel the contact of your body with the floor today. What is relevant? And feel your back. And in the upper back we have the two shoulder blades and the space in between. So observe this area. You have contact more in one side, but you have contact in both sides, I guess, and maybe also in between them, or not. And just going down towards your pelvis, we have now the ribs. Now free to touch the floor. Maybe they are not touching the floor, so check how it is. And it's different one side than the other. And how you feel the small of the back, the distance from the floor. And finally the pelvis with clear contact. Watch which side there are more contact. And how you feel your right leg growing out from the pelvis. And how much is touching the floor. And then the left leg, how it grows out, how is its contact. Its leg is longer. And which leg is more aligned with the rest of your body. It's usually always one leg more aligned. It's the same one. And interlace your fingers. And place your hands behind your head, between your head and your mat. And you are going to do an easy movement, very easy. And you choose what you do, and you repeat it from this position. You do something that is very easy, but you decide what you want to do. And you do it several times. As always, looking for greater ease in the movement. You can move anything, just the position of starting is this one, but you can do anything you want.
What's the instruction? Sorry?
The instruction was to do one movement, whatever you want, and repeat it. Okay, stop it. And now you are going to choose another movement and do it. Also very easy, but now is another one. Observe yourself when it's only you deciding what you do, how you do it. Stop. And once again, third movement, you choose something very easy and you do it. Okay, leave it alone and take a rest. Gently roll the head from side to side. Does this movement require less effort than when you were doing before? Same or more? Stop in the center. Interlace your fingers, place your hands behind the head, and you are going to lift your head with the help of the hands, but not in front of you, but in a diagonal to the right. The nice diagonal to the right. The legs are long. I did not say stand your legs. So unless it's painful for you, do it with long legs. And from here, you lift the head in a diagonal to the right and back to the floor. And see how is this movement. And look for doing no more effort than you were doing to just roll your head. And see how you can look for this way. Diagonals has already always some complexity, because the two sides are doing differently, but we have just one spine. So, and notice the direction you are taking and how is the head moving, how is doing your face, how is doing the top of the head. As the head goes in a diagonal to the right. You decide the angle, of course. Okay, stop, rest a little. Interlace your hands, place them behind the head, and you are going to lift your head a little bit and then you are going to transport it to the right. So it's a bit different movement, or maybe you were doing something very similar. You just lift first the head a little bit and then you bring it to the right as it is, and back to the center. You lift the head so that you don't have the friction of the floor, and then you transport it to the right and back to the center. See, how is this? And when you come back to the center, you let your head on the floor and you do it again. It's basic, this stopping in between the movements. And back in the center, the resting position, but still your hands behind the head. And again, lift the head in a diagonal to the right and back to the center, and see how you do now this movement. What is this diagonal you take? And when you think it's enough, leave it and rest. Interlace your fingers, but this time in the non-habitual way, and place your hands behind the head. And now you do the movement only in your imagination. And you are going to lift the head now in a diagonal to the left, but just you imagine it. You had one side, so you can imagine how things more or less will happen. But just you see how you can visualize it, how you can feel everything inside while you imagine the movement. And try to imagine it without any discomfort sensation, as much as is possible. And next time start to do the real movement and see how is to do it. Now lifting the head in a diagonal to the left. See how it goes when you have imagined it first, this side. And whenever you want, take a rest. Place your right arm 45 degrees from your side. So if you would lift it at shoulder height, it will be 90 degrees from your side. So find something that is how you feel, 45 degrees, and with the palm to the floor. The palm of the right hand is to the floor, the arm 45 degrees. Turn your head a little bit to the right and place your left hand, left arm behind the head, touching with your hand your right ear. Your left hand is touching your right ear. And the head doesn't need to be very much to the right, but a little bit. It also will help the arm to be behind your head, and you can touch your ear or your right cheek. You will find a good distance. And you are going to lift the head in a diagonal to the right, and it's as if you will want to come to be on the right elbow, but don't go so far. But it's the beginning of this movement in which, but don't succeed, don't go too far, but see you go some part of this movement and just find that it feels very easy. The head is going in a diagonal to the right. If it could go more, you will be standing on the right elbow, but please be able to don't reach there completely. And see from the very beginning, observe how the leaning is changing and your back, your pelvis. See if something happens to the legs. And see how it feels the right arm, and you can feel how close you are, how far it is, but you can maybe already feel that yes, it could go and you could stand on your elbow. Just a little bit before completely standing on the elbow. And what happens to the right knee, to the left knee? The head is going in a diagonal to the right. It's going up in a diagonal to the right. Okay, leave it alone. How you feel your two sides, how you feel your back on the floor. Bring now the left arm 45 degrees with the palm to the floor and the right arm behind the head, holding your left ear or the left cheek. And now lift the head in a diagonal to the left. Same movement on this side, but don't go completely till the end to be totally standing on the left elbow. And don't rush to go far, just start very easy and see just where the ease will take you. What is different in this side? Maybe the legs are doing something different. And this is one of these movements where, if not all, but from the beginning, you have to not skip any step, just go. It is being created from the very beginning. So be slow so that you can feel very much what is happening, how the shifting of the weight on the back is happening. Observe where are you looking at the end of the movement. Where is your nose? Where is the top of the head? And the idea is the head is always going up in a diagonal, up from the floor. And see what happens to the right knee, to the left knee. Is one leg moving earlier than the other? They move two at the same time? Remember how was the other side? Okay, leave it alone and take a rest. Observe how you are now. Your arms are resting along your body in the most comfortable place and way for you. And feel the right shoulder with the shoulder blade behind. And just you are going to move it on the floor, maybe sliding on the floor, the right shoulder, so that sometimes it comes closer to the right ear, sometimes closer to your waist. And feel the shoulder blade behind, which is probably what is moving the shoulder. So the right shoulder is sliding on the floor, going closer to the right ear and then closer to your waist. And see what else of your body moves and how. I don't need to say it to find the easiest way. Stop it. And do it now with the left shoulder. Same thing. It should feel easy or notice when it's pretty easy, when it's less easy. And see if you can make it longer, the part that is pretty easy, almost as if doing nothing. Is something happening to the other shoulder when you move this one? You can alternate. Sometimes you move one shoulder, then you move the other one. Of course, you can repeat one side if it makes sense for you. And when it's enough, take a rest. We are long time with long legs, so before resting you can sometimes stand your legs. But no, it's okay. It's okay. Just Veronica has lost the connection. So, again, lying on your back. She's coming back now. Hi. Lying on your back. Bring the right arm 45 degrees with the palm of the right hand to the floor. And bring the left arm long to the ceiling. The hand is soft and the arm is long, but it has not the tension of a stretching, it's just long. And keeping it long, you are going to bring it in a diagonal to the right, maybe in the direction of your belt on the right side. So, and at the end of the movement, maybe you can bend the elbow as if you want to touch your belt on the right side, but only at the very end, or as if you want to put the hand under your belt through the right side. But this is direction, So the arm is going long time, long, and at the very end it could bend as if you want to bring the left hand under the belt through the right side. And see how you do this movement and see what is doing the head. How the head can be free to support the movement. And how the head can be lifted and don't feel you have to make effort to lift this weight. There is a way the head can be lifted as you do this movement, and it's very easy. And see if you are also coming a bit to the right elbow. Make sure your legs are free. You go and you come back. The diagonal of the left arm is not to the right arm, is more down towards the right side of the pelvis, towards the belt that you might have for your trousers there. And how easily you come back. Is one leg moving? Are the two legs moving? Which way they do? Okay, take a rest. Bring the left arm long to the ceiling. And you are going to bring it longer to the ceiling and down to the floor. The arm is always long and the hand comes closer to the ceiling and then come back. The arm stays long all the time. And when you come back, you can gently press with the left shoulder into the floor and then you rise it again to the ceiling. See how is this? And how the rest of your body is really not occupied of anything. Multitask is not working. And bring the right arm in a diagonal 45 degrees. With the palm to the floor, right arm, and with the left arm long to the ceiling. Once again do the movement of bring the arm in a diagonal to the right, towards your right hip. And at the end, maybe you can bring your left hand under your belt behind on the right side. If your head has came up and you are towards the right elbow. Think that the left arm is bringing the head with it without effort. But the timing has to be exact, so not to have the effort. And the direction is not to the right arm, is much more lower to the left hip, to the right hip, sorry. Okay. Take a rest on your back. Left arm in a diagonal 45 degrees with the left hand to the floor, right arm long to the ceiling, left hand 45 degrees, right arm long to the ceiling, hand is soft, arm is soft but long, and bring this arm in a diagonal to the left, towards the left side of your hip, and see how eventually the head may rise, maybe not the first time, and the legs must be free for this movement. At some point, maybe one knee bent, the other, and to do effort to go there is not helping you to find out something else, because you went there already. So it's better to stay without reaching, finding easiness, than just to push to be there. And look for this side and see how the shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade, is moving, and how the head and the legs can be free, and how you go towards the left elbow as if you can go to lean on the left elbow. And if you feel some tension in the legs, if you can notice where, maybe you can inhibit this tension. Okay, leave it alone. Take a rest. Bring the two arms long to the ceiling. And keeping the two arms vertical all the time, just move the right arm closer to the ceiling and back down to the floor. And see how you move this arm. The left arm is quiet, doesn't lose the direction. It's quiet vertical, and the right arm is the one who is reaching towards the ceiling and coming down. And go next with the left arm, keeping the right arm quiet. Now is the left arm going towards the ceiling. Do you find some clear difference between when you do one side and the other? How is the right hand? How is the left hand? Are they soft? How are the wrists? The wrists keep the direction of the hand, but they have allowance inside, and easily they keep the direction of the arm. But the hands are super soft. Okay, rest. And again, two arms long to the ceiling. And you are keep the arms in this relationship between them. Or you could imagine you are holding a stick between the two arms, two hands. And you are going to bring your arms in a diagonal to the right, so as to maybe eventually you can lean on the right elbow on the floor. Now you go with the two arms in this diagonal. Before you were going just with one arm, now the two arms go parallel to each other, or keeping the relationship, and see if eventually the right elbow can be on the floor, and of course then it's not long anymore, and it has the left arm is not doing as the right one. And you have to find where this diagonal that brings your right elbow to the floor, because not all the angles bring you easily there. And how are the legs doing? How is the head being easily lifted? Maybe bring the arms quite down towards your pelvis instead of going too early to the side. Just bring them as if you want to place the stick on your hip, on your leg. Even the leg may have moved. Okay, take a rest. Bring the two legs up in the air above your belly with the knees bent and the feet hanging. Two legs easily over your belly in a place that you don't need to hold them. The knees are bent and the two arms are long to the ceiling, as all the time. And we do the same movement, this diagonal to the right, to see if eventually you can come on the right elbow. And just the legs start there, and how they will end, where they will easily end somewhere in a certain way. But see how you can do this, if this is easier or it's more difficult now with these legs. The hands, they don't care about the legs. They will not interfere. The legs, the hands go diagonal down towards the hip, towards the right side of the hip. Diagonal is not to roll to the side. It's a diagonal rolling we are doing. Try to the left, maybe it's easier to go in diagonal to the left. And it's the arms who initiate and who know what they have to do. And the legs, the head will just adjust to the idea of the arms. And take a nice rest on your back. Bring the two arms long to the ceiling. Just the diagonal to the left has to be sitting on the left elbow. Now with long legs, starting long legs, they will move later, but see how you do it now to this side. Are the legs helping the movement, or you would say, oh, it will be better if I don't have to carry this weight? They should feel good. They are not dead weight. They are connected to the body and they know they can move. And when you think it's enough, stop and rest on your back. How is your body now? How is your back on the floor in this moment? and gently roll to the side to come to a stand. And observe how you feel your standing position after the lesson. We are standing, and when you feel like start to walk. Thank you.